Annie started her career at Ag Research as a technician and scientist in reproductive physiology and sheep genetics. Her PhD explored embryo survival in sheep. Most recently, she worked for Blue River Dairy. It's a sheep milking operation in Southland before joining Beef and Lamb Genetics. She has had considerable experience in performance data systems and communicating with farmers. Her Dunedin-based role focuses on helping commercial farmers and breeders apply genetics to their business objectives. And so I also work on an advisory group with Annie and the reproductive team at Invermay. So her knowledge on the reproductive side and that the way a sheep operates is second to none. And it's wonderful to have Annie as part of the Beef and Lamb Genetics team to help connect breeders and farmers. So hand you over.
All right, good. So I was given the task of having a talk about the value that we're getting from our next generation progeny test sites. And as I was preparing the talk, I also realised I want to talk about the more value we can get from it. So I'm going to expect some feedback from you, and I'm sure you'll have your questions about how we're going to extract the best value out of these next generation sites. We have implemented them and we've gone so far, but I'm sure there's more we can do. Neville talked about the CPT review and that the next generation sites have been established in response to that review, and about in summary, just that testing more rams, testing younger unproven rams in more commercially relevant environments, and partnering with industry. Those are the core principles that we've been adhering to in those next generation sites. For those of you at last year's talk, I haven't done any animations on this slide. It won't flick through quickly. But it is the same sort of slide I put up, but there's some extra additions. So just here in the middle is representing the hub site with the 22 rams that get assessed there that Neville talked about. We've got PML, the partnership that we have with PML and Horizon Farms, with the terminal size being assessed up there, about 45 rams at that site. The South Island Genomics Calibration Site, we've got 50 terminal sides measured there. That's with the partnership with that Farm IQ site. SMEDLEY, the site that's focusing on maternal hill performance, and we've got 25 rams from the Perendale Society measured there. This year we've added a new site, having a look at FE, and just using the tools that we've already got to look at tolerance for FE and see if we can really get this in a way that commercial farmers can understand it and start choosing rams that are going to be better for their farm. So we've got this partnership with OTIWHITI. The Southdowns have also come to us and they said, look, we're organised, we're going to have a progeny test. We can get some, we want to be doing a terminal sire progeny test as well. And we've managed to get some linked sires into the hub with them. The North Island Romney group is a group that we're talking to, and we have some connection. We haven't got anything really formal there yet with getting linked sires into the progeny test, into the hub, but just it's another group that we are having some association with. And I've got a question mark up there. I don't know, it's all about how far the budgets will stretch, but you know, like it's not a finished package yet. Each of those sites also has another name, often referred to by their farm name. So there's just flip back. Maratotra, Duncragan, the Perendale, and Smedley is a farm name and the Perendale is a partnership. OTIWHITI is a partnership with the FE breeders, and the Southdown have just still stayed with the Southdown name so far. Let's try and do that. 2 names is difficult. Those same colours I've used on this next slide, I'm just going to highlight. I mean, I don't expect you to really read the numbers there, but if you can, that's good. These are each individual ram that's on each of those sites in 2017, okay? These first 2 columns here are the hub sites, and they've got exactly the same rams mated at Invermay and at Taratahi. The green here is the 2 linked sires that are mated at the PML or Maratotra site. And you can see all the extra rams that are going along aside that site. Again, the yellow is a linked sire to the South Island Genomic Calibration Site, the blue is to Smedley, pink to OTIWHITI, and the grey to Southdown. And these were the 1990 sires that Neville referred to. Okay. So a big raft of rams in there coming in this, and just as in 1 year of mating in 2017. I'm going to put that in a wee soundbite for you. So this year we're mating 186 rams, and we've got them on 7 sites. One of them is a pure research farm. The 6 can be classified as commercial farms, and including, of those 6, 3 of them are cadet training farms. And so we really think we're starting to deliver on this more rams, younger, and at more commercially relevant environments and partnering with industry. So pretty proud that implementation seems to be happening in my mind, but I'd welcome your feedback. Another little soundbite from that is the CPT is measuring performance in 186 rams from 81 flocks. And those flocks are representing 65,000 lambs that were born in 2015. So it's about 20% of the SIL lambs that are added annually. So we've got some good penetration here, good coverage here. But use of a CPT ram at home to connect more flocks, I absolutely agree, that would be wonderful. That's what we need. We need to keep encouraging that. And Julia's done a great job of explaining the spider web of connections that we can do to do that. So I really hope you embrace that and try and get some more out of that. So on to the best use of next generation sites and the hub sites. So getting connectedness, mating by AI at the CPT site and using the AI rams at home and or as a group reference sire, that's a great use. Getting connectedness by mating the ram naturally at the CPT site and mating it naturally at home first and sending it to the CPT site. That's good. And mating naturally at the CPT site and use it at home afterwards is also another way to get connected in that same year. And if I think about the sites, the hub site's achieving the top one. OTIWHITI has chosen to try and do connectedness by having that mating before going to the CPT site. And SMEDLEY and Southdowns have chosen a short mating period to get the ram to be able to get home in time to get some progeny at home as well. So it's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. And it's all about working in partnership and coming up with these agreements of how that's going to work without having undue risk to the health of the rams that you're putting into that progeny test. So I'm also proposing, or this is what we're doing, is using the best, or the rams that have done the best in the previous year, and they are going to be the link sires. So that way there's going to be new link sires every year, so we're getting something new into the hub, we're getting more in-depth information from them. But they are, by doing 2 things, they're going to be a year-on-year link at the next generation site, and they're also the next generation site to the hub link. So the 2 rams that were the best from 2016 mating, I have chosen them to be mated at Smedley, for example, in 2017, and they also are mated at the hub site in that same year. So getting 2 uses are the same. And this is the question that Julia posed. Should semen from these link sires be made more available in wider industry? And I'm sure I'll get some feedback from that. I think we're sort of going on that track, aren't we? Because those should be chosen, the link sires could be chosen a bit earlier than the expression of interest, for example, I suppose. Yep. So I'm just going to move on then, I've had a lot of feedback to say some people think of the CPT as just one thing and don't recognise the different farms, the different next generation sites. So I just thought I'd take a wee moment just to, let you know what's been measured at those different sites, so maybe it'll help with this conversation. And we've obviously got those posters up. I don't know if you got to see those during drinks or lunch and afternoon teas, but we have got all these in a poster form now. So I'll refer to the poster, so it's a bit of an image, but I'll do the details on the next slide. So I'll talk about the hub first, and you've got the 2 sites that Neville talked about, Invermay and Taratahi. With 22 new rams are being measured annually to about 1,000 ewes. And those ewes are reused, and the progeny of those, the progeny are used as dams within that flock as well. It's all AI, and the link sires and mature rams are accepted. Got dam and sire parentage there, and it's so we've got DNA parentage and we've got tagging at birth. And the purpose is that connectedness across flocks, dual purpose and terminal sire, and it's also underpinning the B+LNZ genetics research programs like Neville outlined. And it's an expression of interest for the ram entry and a strategic selection as well. And look at all those gold trait groups that are covered in that hub. So reproduction, survival, growth, adult size, wool, meat, worm feck, FE, DAG, stability, body condition score. It's all covered in that hub site. Moving on to Marae Tautra, so the PML, the one that was green, was the first one that came on to the next generation site family. We've got 45 rams mated there annually, 1,600 ewes, but they're different ewes annually. So, and we've got natural mating with the ram hoggets or tutus are accepted there. So because it's new ewes every year, we're working with sire-only parentage to keep those costs manageable. And it's also involving information with the meat module that Neville's gone through with yesterday's talks as well. And this is one that we do have a ram entry by expression of interest annually. But the focus here is about growth and meat. And I've got the star there because we still need to have the meat module come to maturation before we can really get that. Well, it's quite reliant on that module coming through. Okay. Duncragan then, it's another terminal sire site. This is the South Island Genomic Calibration Site. There's 45 rams, 800 ewes, and different ewes again annually. And there's natural mating with some AI. Yep. And so to keep those costs down still, it's with the sire-only parentage, and it's used for, we've got to remember the focus there is about providing a resource for genomic calibration. So the RAM entry has been chosen by Farm IQ, so there's no expression of interest for that one. And it is growth and meat, and again relying on the meat module outcomes as well. Again, some meat quality, some special stuff there. SMEDLEY, the Maternal Hill site, is 25 rams, 1,000 ewes, and we're reusing the ewes, and the progeny will become dams, so a little bit like the hub site here. We're focusing on just the hogget rams, and we have AI only with the link sires. Dam and sire parentage is what we're using there. I've got a little bit of automatic clicking through here, but again, that's all right. Where am I at? Smedley, thank you. So, and we're also going to DNA sample the dead lamb, so we'll get an idea of survival on this one. Because you can't, like Julia said, we need to actually get, it's not just the dam and sire parentage of the live lambs, I need to know what was the sire of the lambs that were dead. Because I'm naturally mating, you know, a twin can be fathered by different sires, so we definitely need those dead lambs sampled, and SMEDLEY have agreed to have a crack at that this year. Its primary purpose is about connectedness for the Perendale flocks, in the way it is at the moment, and the ram entry is negotiated with the Perendale Society, and we help out with that as well. And we're doing a wide range of traits there. Reproduction, survival, growth, adult size, wool, meat, hogget fertility, so they're mating the hoggets as well. They're measuring FE, and we're doing stability and body condition score traits there as well. So a really good deep graft, and that's in that cadet farm, so they're learning about performance, recording, and value of genetics as well. OTIWHITI then, the new one to the program, the one that's focusing on facial eczema. This year we've had 34 rams mated there. We've mated it to 1,000 new hoggets. So this time we've done a little bit of difference, trying to, it ended up being a nice opportunity that they weren't expecting to keep the progeny from those hoggets anyway. So we weren't interfering with their whole program, but also had another raft of benefits for us with mating, that we had a chance to get, or more time to get the program sorted, and a chance to get those rams used at home first. Though we will be reusing, we will use those ewes, so next year they'll be mated as tutus as the intention. And the progeny, there'll be a smaller number of the progeny there, but they will be available to come up and be dams as long as they grow out well. So that's one of the things that OTIWHITI have just indicated. They'd love to see if they could get hogget lambs, or lambs from hoggets that can actually go on to be something in their breeding flock. It's not something they currently do right now. They've done the natural mating of the hogget rams, and they're using AI link sires. We will be doing dam and sire parentage. We haven't focused on the maternal trait of it, the survival stuff at the moment, because we're not going to be measuring those, not really assessment of maternal performance here. So it's just a dam and sire parentage of the live lambs. And the focus is connectedness for the FE breeders. It's genomic tools and RamGuard being demonstrated to predict FE tolerance and demonstrate this to commercial farmers. We want to get them to understand what's going on there. We will do a RAM expression of interest entry, but it will be with FE breeders annually, and it's in the partnership with what they what we're going to get out of it. And so growth and FE are the core traits that we're going to get out of this site. Okay. Southdown. So this one, they wanted to come and join us or see if they could get something organised to get more connectedness amongst themselves. And so they got pretty organised, and we had a few discussions about it. And Dave Robertson's led most of this as well. But 25 rams have been mated this year with about 800 ewes, and they're looking to maybe reuse those ewes. The sire-only parentage, though, with DNA, and looking to tag at birth and get some extra information. They want to provide connectedness across the Southdown flocks and with industry, so getting this linkage into the CPT hub, and looking to explore meat quality. And the ram entry is chosen by the Southdown Society, so it definitely is their site and their progeny test as well. And the growth and meat are the key things that are coming out of that one. So that's all the sites I've got to hand. I'm just going to take a wee breather there. I suppose we'll wait for, I've got a few more slides yet. Hamish, how are we going for time? Good? Okay, so I'll leave the questions. If you've got questions about this, come back at the end. But I just want to take a wee pause because now I wanted to talk about the value from the next generation. I finished the value from the next generation project test. I want to talk about the reporting that we can do from there. So we've had a lot of discussion about reporting. Obviously, our review told us that they're putting out the booklet wasn't really what breeders wanted, that then there was still want some information, don't want to send a ram off and hear nothing about it, how things are going, or any results and stuff. So it's been a variety of questions about it. And so I just want to get the summary information, see what we actually really want for us to do and what you're wanting to use it for, so we can deliver it what you want, but not going off tangent and doing things that you don't need. So just thinking about, can I click to the next? No, the other way? Thank you. So just trying to think about the use of the CPT by breeders. And I know I'm talking to you, this will be, hopefully this will ring the bells of what you're trying to get out of the CPT. But I'm assuming you're using it to inform where your flock ranks relative to other flocks. You want to know where you're going to be able to get new genetics. Whether or not, if you're at the top, whether or not you can get more of like-minded rams, or if you want to ramp up your system, where to go to seek it to add that in. And you really want to be able to inform your own ram selection at mating. So you want to know what you're doing with, if you've got rams in the CPT, you want to know what you're doing with any of their relatives, if they're doing well or not in that CPT. If there's anything to add to that list, I'd love to hear that. I just want to talk about the results that you've currently got available to help with those choices. So you've got data, it's collected from all CPT sites, and it's promptly loaded into SIL. Okay? So it's immediately available at the next NZGE run. So it's in that weekly run of the EBVs and indexes as soon as that data's been collected from the CPT site. So you can have a look in the NZGE run or have a look on RamFinder regularly, although I do note RamFinder is updated bi-monthly. Is that right, Sharon? Yeah. With research EBVs and indexes, so we need more time. So if it's something that's a bit special, like something from the meat module, it needs a bit more time to get through that analysis, so we can't really rush that out, and it doesn't go automatically into SIL. And so we can really only report, with those research EBVs, we really can only report on how the ram ranks within that CPT group. So we did release, Neville released this in autumn this year, e.g. the PML results on the meat traits in 2017. And we did say that the results are considered confidential to breeders submitting rams just because we don't want to get this mixed, different breeding values, different indexes out there. It's not in line with that one version of the truth that we're talking about. We want those SIL values. And if you're looking for rams that, where you're ranking or looking for ones that are on the top that you want to add to your system, the NCG sire leader list on the SIL website, they're also updated bi-monthly, and so they're informed by all the same information. So if your ram was getting information or progeny measured at a CPT site, it's informing SIL, and then it's going available into informing the leader list as well. So there's those things that are already there, but I've heard you, there's probably some more things we need. So what is it? What more do we need? We can provide site updates on progress, so you can deliver on a site-by-site basis. I think for OTIWHITI, they've started doing, Max is working on giving more regular updates. We've done an activity that there's a wee blurb about the cadets there and what they're getting out of it. it sort of can provide summary data with how pregnancy scanning's gone or that sort of thing. But we wouldn't be able to do too much about individual RAMs, or that would be quite onerous to do that. We could do, this is something that's sitting with me right now that I'm definitely going to be doing, is timeline of events for each site, and we could have that provided to those that are supplying RAMs so that you know when to expect new data updates. Our wee idea popped up, should we be providing wee alerts to you, to those that have supplied RAMs to each of the sites, as to when new data has been entered, and some people have asked for that, so I'd love to hear feedback if we don't think that would be quite good, and we'll think about how we could do that. And the summary of results, though, because we don't want to release this booklet that's got a different, like just only CPT ranking, if we're going to release a league table, if you do decide that's something you would like, or see a booklet form, because some people have asked for a booklet, we could do a summary of results that could be released annually with the RAMs presented in the NZGE percentile band ranges. And so that way, instead of ranking the RAM just the CPT set, that would be better reflecting his national ranking rather than just that CPT ranking. So, but, you know, if we did something like that, do you want a booklet, or do you want it on the website, or is it not really of use at all? And so those are my questions.
Hang on, Russell.
G'day, Annie. Thank you very much for your presentation. I thought it was really good. Look, suggestion on the booklet. The CPTs are there to organise SLACE. My suggestion is we stick to the one method of the truth, you know, so that we don't have confusion in our industry. It's there to sort out the gene base. It's a wonderful tool, and I want to see us lift all of New Zealand up. We need our sheep industry to work together, because our competition is other land uses, and we have been sadly lacking in the ability to retain land use in New Zealand, and we've seen a terrific expansion, and I think that we have great spread of genes in New Zealand, and the CPT is a great way of sorting them out. So I think you want that as an overall principle,
Okay.
and to try and say that, and that we're in competition with one another, but in a way, someone who has a top RAM for one trait, if we know where it is, and that's a key point, we can use it, and that breeder who uses that then puts their ear tag in it, so effectively the resulting progeny become theirs, and it helps the whole industry. We lift everyone up doing that. So congratulations again on your report. So thank you.
Just down the back, Becky.
Hi Annie, 186 rams, 81 flocks. Why only 81 flocks? There's 186 flocks that could have been there.
With the natural mating, we expect that some rams may not be able to, there'll be some that will fail. And so to protect that for any ram breeder putting in rams for a natural mating situation, especially with ram hoggets, we've asked them to provide more than one. So that's why it's 81 flocks. Yeah. Well, if we had, yeah, I mean, that's really the choices. We could do more rams, but then we'd probably have to do AI to be really certain of getting enough progeny from everybody. Trade-off?
Just a comment, with these next generation sites, what you're wanting is industry support, which is us, and we all pay to put rams in there. That wasn't mentioned there. What I would like to see is just, as these sites are developed, that those of us that may be contributing rams get a design plan, that we get health protocols in place well ahead so that we are prepared. Some of these have been rushed a bit, and it has resulted in frustration for some of the breeders that have been involved. And I realize this is a work in progress, and you guys are all doing your best, but if we're going to be contributing, we need assurances that best practice is followed on these sites, and that the management is up to that standard, that we know what's going to be going on, and also that we know what we're going to be getting out And I think that timeline you showed at the end was a really good idea, that we get updates and we know what's going on. So, you know, I realize again that this is evolving, but we need assurances that things are going to be done right, and we have good communication all the way through, so that we've got confidence to put our RAMs in there, and that they aren't going to be negatively impacted, you know, just because management maybe isn't up to scratch.
It's a fair comment, Kate. Thank you.
Leon Black. I'm a bit slow this morning, Annie. Late night.
Me too.
But I must be missing something. Best practice, and we heard about it yesterday, to do, say, a terminal SIRE index, you need silly things like growth, meat, and survival. And I saw a whole lot of blanks up there. Can you backfill that? Why have we been missing a key component of our overall traits? And if we're told we have to record them, and then we do sites like the New Age sites that fail to do it, am I going to do a lot more blanking than I thought?
Yeah, so Leon, it's something I want to see if we could get more survival, because I totally agree with you, but it ends up being, it is a cost-benefit situation where to be able to DNA sample dam and sire parentage and sampling the dead lambs is an extra cost. And so you would probably, to afford it within our budget, you'd be doing less RAMs. And so we're actually just thinking about maybe doing a bit of a cost-benefit analysis of what value are we losing with not having survival in that, over whether or not we should be doing less RAMs. So I need to have a look at, we think we should do a wee project on that, or just a bit of a number crunch on that to sort of see what is a cost benefit there. But I think too it's a glaringly obvious missing thing on the survival for terminal SIRE sites. So I share you. Go. But it's definitely a trade-off.
Have you got any other questions, Annie, that you want to ask?
Well, so if I flip back to my previous slide, have I got a chance to do that? Is it possible to flip back, IT? So summary updates, is that show of hands of who wants summary updates on a CPT site to see how things are going? Oh yeah, so it sounds like it's a pretty good thing to do, regular updates. Timeline and events, that would be something you would like to know ahead of time. Yep. And what about alerts? Would you need an alert to know when the data's gone in? Is that something of value, or if you've got the timeline, it's okay? Timeline's fine? Okay. And what about the summary of results? Whether or not, I think from Russell's point of view, it wasn't needed to be putting out a booklet or a summary of results. Is that everyone else share that? So you don't want a booklet or a summary of CPT results? Hands up if you don't want one. Just hands up if it's not needed. Cool. So it's not needed. Great. Righto. So make still ace easier, the leader list easier to find and get sorted. Okay, cool.
Is there a way to highlight CPT RAMs on cell ace? Is there a way to highlight CPT RAMs on cell ace?
Is there a way?
Yeah, so that on cell ace we can identify CPT RAMs.
Well, not currently, but we could put up the CPT RAM list if that would be. And if you want to know more about RAMs, we're going to get linkage from. That's something we could look at. But yeah, but that's been really helpful to me. I suppose we've got some time, have we, Hamish, or are we at the end of it? Or? No, you've got the time. Yeah, if there's a general question to answer, I think then. Yep.
Okay, Peter A. Mayabicus Bio. We had I think a hung jury on the leaving tails on and leaving the sheep really tough. I'm not sure if that direction was directed at the hubs, but I think it would be a bit difficult to make that happen given the sort of hung jury and the crowd. So why don't the breeders that are advocating that get together and set up their own next generation site and set up the environment that they want to do it in and lead the way that way? So just a challenge, let's have some leadership coming from down in the ranks, and that can really make a difference.